going to try something new tonight. I'm holding the camera. That's crazy. I didn't really want to make a video tonight, but because I didn't want to, I wanted to. Let me explain. There's been a bunch of just negative stuff going on right now in my life. And I have a tendency to only want to put energy out when things are good, or when I have a grasp on something and I feel kind of powerful and good about the information. And tonight I don't feel that way. I don't feel powerful or good, and I don't feel like I have a grasp on the information. And but that's kind of what I want to talk about. I was watching this thing on PBS the other day, and they were talking about the beginnings of television and how it had come from a background in vaudeville. And these vaudevillian actors, or whatever you call them, performers, they went out into all these cities and they didn't really live a glamorous life. There's no P. Diddy kind of thing going on. It was just these people performing, like somebody juggling, or someone doing tap dancing, or someone doing impersonations or whatever. And so they would go around to different cities and they would, perform this act. They'd have the same act pretty much for years. And they would just sort of perfect it, go out and just make people laugh or make people feel good or whatever. And then once television came in, it was great because it gave a lot of people an opportunity to now reach more people. But the downside was that they needed to come up with new material. They couldn't do the same act all the time. And B, which A could be considered a good thing because it makes you grow as an artist and everything else, but still. And then B, advertisers got involved. Time was money. So they couldn't try out their material. They couldn't make mistakes. There was no room for mistakes. And in creativity, there has to be mistakes. There has to be, quote unquote mistakes. Because a lot of times that's when things are discovered, is in those things that weren't planned. And so it's actually, it was a sad thing because they didn't have room. If you didn't have the ratings, if you didn't have the attention, you didn't have this, that, or the other, you got dropped. And so people's careers were just gone because there was no room to sort of grow and find themselves. And that's happening in the music industry right now. It's like they used to develop artists, and maybe someone had an amazing voice, but, they weren't really developed as a complete person, a character that you were selling as a, or maybe they were still trying to find their sound. And so it took a while. But now it's like if you don't come out with the #1 hit in your first song out the gate, you're nothing. They don't spend any time on you at all. So, and I worked in the music industry, so I know what I'm talking about. It's sad. It's like incredibly talented people aren't even getting looked at or talked to because they don't have, and plus you've got to have a certain look and a certain, it's like there's no room for anyone. I think about the people that influenced me growing up. None of them were beautiful, perfect, quote unquote people. These are people that were sort of quirky and interesting and different and had a weird voice and a big nose and whatever else. And it doesn't matter what they were because there was something in the soul of the music that, that came through that I can't imagine growing up without that. I can't imagine growing up without that kind of music. And it's so sad because I think that's what's happening now. It's like music is so manufactured, and it's so it's like you've got to dance, you've got to have a video, it's just ridiculous. I don't know. Anyways, I'm totally off the subject, but then again, not really. So, it's like with the internet, we have to be able to make mistakes as well because it's a new frontier. And it's like, this is like our vaudeville, and we shouldn't have to feel like we have to be perfect. And that's why I don't like all these people with their negative comments, because it's like, this is like a playground. It's a place to be creative. It's a place to express ourselves. And I love these people that, on the worst case scenario, the people that are just straight up evil and mean. That's ridiculous. And the other side of it is people that feel like they have to critique your work. It's like, this is just me expressing myself. If you want to walk around critiquing me, fine, I didn't ask you to. I didn't say, how was the sound level? And did you like the music? What was the selection of the music? And the lighting. Did you feel good about the lighting? It's like, just get the message of whatever it is I'm trying to say, It's like, if you're walking on a beach and you find a bottle and you open it up and there's a message inside, are you going to go through it and check all the grammar? Or are you going to be blown away by the fact you just open up a bottle and there's a message inside of there? That's the point. The message inside of the bottle. They came across the ocean and didn't break on a rock. Didn't sink to the bottom of the ocean. You know? It's kind of cool. Maybe you should stop and think about that aspect and just connect with that energy instead of grading people's papers. Anyways, so I just want to talk about, like, you know, creativity. You have to be able to color outside the lines. And in life and going towards your dreams, you have to be able to make mistakes. You have to be able to have down days, which I'm having, you know. And I don't want to get all into it or anything, but I did want to mention quickly just negative people in general and people that try to sabotage your path. And even life events that have maybe nothing to do with any specific person or thing or whatever. But the point is that I'm not always sure that there's really positive people out there. You know, like, things surprise me every day. You know, I get this message from somebody, or you just bump into someone, or you overhear someone, and you just think, God, you know, are there any good people in the world? But then, even if there isn't, you still have to be one yourself. You have to be what you are. Because otherwise it's like, they won. And it's like, what's the point then? What was the point of you even being here if you didn't express who you were? If you let other people's judgments of you and their issues and their fears and whatever make you repress yourself and not go for what you want to go for, laugh at the jokes you want to laugh at, make the YouTube videos you want to make, and whatever else, then it's like you're like a slave. You're in shackles, and you're waiting for them to come over and unlock your shackles and say, okay, go out there and make a video. But it better be perfect. It better make me laugh. And it better be like awesome. It better be short. Don't make these long videos. 11 minutes. That's too long. Sorry. No. You know, it's like, who are you? You're not the boss of me. You know, it's like, this is like a place for everybody to connect. It's a place to put your energy out there. And if you're not feeling it, click stop. It's not the end of the world. Close the window. Go find somebody else. How many people are on YouTube now? I mean, for crying out loud, if you don't like me, go to another person. And if you don't like that person, go to the next person. But don't waste your time trying to bring other people down. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. And for all the people out there that are just putting positive messages out there, good. And keep doing it, and don't let any of these dumbasses stop you. It's just bullshit. Anyways, I'm irritated. I told you I'm going through a hard time right now. And, you know, I just got very bad news like a week ago, on top of like 9 bad things that were happening. I mean, I can handle bad stuff, but when it all happens at once, that's when it gets really hard. But I got some bad news, and I'm just trying really hard to be positive. And then I get this message on YouTube. Someone told me to go kill myself. So that's when you go, what? Like, all I've ever done is try to be positive on here and just put good messages out there. And you're going to take the time to write to me and tell me I should kill myself? Like, what's wrong with you? I just don't understand that. Weird. Anyways, for everybody else, thank you so much for your positive comments. The hugs video, I'm so glad that people from all over the world are sending me emails and messages. It's awesome. Thank you. And the response to Tara Golden's Why Walk 1,000 Miles, my response is, why do anything great? That's been great. Thank you so much. I mean, the comments are really, really very nice, and it just makes you feel validated. So thank you. And thank you very much for listening. And I appreciate you if you either just left because you didn't vibe with me, or if you left a positive comment. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you later.